I auditioned for a very legendary theater director. He passed away during COVID. His name is Win Hanman. He taught
Oh,
everybody. He was the who's who of theater directors, and he had a beautiful off-Broadway play. He taught everybody.
and
And he taught in
did he
Carnegie
cast you?
Hall. And what's that?
He cast you?
No, so I auditioned for him when I got to New York. And what I didn't know is that he was in World War II. He served in the Navy. And so when I did this monologue for him, he liked it. I had a horrible audition. And I really felt like I had a horrible audition.
Right.
And you had to audition in front of someone to get the permission to audition for him.
Oh,
And
wow.
that was the filter process. And little did I know that doing this monologue of a dead soldier would be my artistic mission. After that, stayed in New York for about, kind of planted my flag in New York and studied with him for about 4 years. And you do what actors do. You audition your butt off and get roles.
Yep, yep. Wow.
That's
Was
how it
was
started.
that monologue the first time that you had encountered in acting a vet?
I didn't know he was a vet. I found out later. And I remember he taught two classes twice. He had a day class and a night class. The night class was Tuesday and Thursday nights. And that was the class that was working well for my schedule. And I remember when I finished the audition, I thought I was done. I thought, oh man, I bombed this. I was really nervous. You just have to imagine, as a kid from Texas coming to Carnegie Hall to audition, you're just terrified.
Oh,
And you just,
yeah, I can't even. Wow. But that
and
kind of was where you started your journey with being in when you're in character a vet, right?
yeah, when I got accepted into his class, he started giving me, there was this book called Company K. It was a book of monologues that a World War II veteran wrote about letters of his experience in World War II. And he understood, he was a great director, but he
He
just said,
sounds like it.
yeah, he would constantly give me these pieces, always. I remember one time I was like, Win, I am so tired of doing these letters, man. And he's like, they fit you well, keep doing them. And when his process was really character driven, so he
Right?
would give you a monologue from a play, or you would work on a play, but he really forced you to figure out who it was you were playing, who's the character. He had a great phrase: "We don't care about you; we only care about the character."
Oh,
So,
wow. That is good.
so yeah. So he was like, "Who are you playing? What does he want? What was his letter to the world? What does he want people to feel? What does he want people to want?" That's your job to figure out, who is this person? Where is he from? Why is he talking this way? Why is he behaving this way?
Oh,
What's
wow.
going on in his life? And so you really learned character acting. And his out of his class, Eric Bogosian came with a solo show out of there. John Leguizamo came out of Wynn's class. A lot of famous solo show artists came out of there mainly because it's kind of what the work you would do in his class. You would do character work. You would do monologues. You would do plays. And if you were working on a play and you had trouble, you'd have to bring the character in, what he would call character interviews.
Right.
So if you bombed, he would say, okay, Doug, next week, next class, come in, you're going to do a character interview. So that means you would come in as character. You would sit in the middle of the stage and he would say, okay, so what's going on with you? Let's say you were doing, I know, Stanley from Streetcar.
Oh,
He would
wow.
say, what's going on, Stanley? He goes, what's going on with you? And then you would talk
As if
as
you're
if you're the,
Stanley. I love
as
that.
if
I do
Stanley.
that when I
Yeah.
audition people. I want them to know the character, so I will improv with them. But I guess, would you call that method?
No, it's not method, because method would be like, okay, Doug, sit there and go back to your personal life and find that emotion. The way he would always explain it is by going into a character interview and starting to understand organically what is going on with the character that you're playing or what the writer's trying to tell you, you organically becomes a way of you kind of sliding into the skin of the character. Because
Okay.
subconsciously we always have these things going on inside of us throughout the course of a day. You play a rainbow of people. You play angry. Sometimes you act like a bad person. You act like a
Boy,
good
that's
person.
true.
Yeah, you're just a rainbow. We're never black and white throughout the day. Some
Some
11,
more than
12, you're an
others
asshole.
are rainbow
Yeah,
people. Yeah, I love that. I've never heard that before, but you're right. We go through the gamut of emotions every day.
emotions every day, and so that's always inside you. So when you start talking out loud, that's the key, is talking out loud. Because again, acting it's a physical sport. So you
Yeah.
want to talk it out loud, but it's not about you thinking about it. It never works that way. And I think that's a mistake a lot of young actors do. They think about it and they try to analyze it, but it's a physical sport. And so when you talk it out loud, it does two things. It taps into those emotions that are already inside you,
Right.
and you start understanding the character, and then it changes it changes your physicality, and then you start to
Right.
feel like the character, and you would go through that, and then you understand. Then you said, why are you so angry?
Yeah.
I'm the king of this house. I'm the king of this house, and I'm the one who should be making the rules around here. And then you would get it. You would just start feeling the emotion of the character. You're like,
I,
okay, let's do the scene now. Go do the scene. And you'd
I
be like,
love it.
and
Oh,
you're
wow.
just, now you understand Stanley. You understand what Stanley's going through. So it's not method, but you understand organically what he's going through. And acting is it's make believe, and you
Definitely
make
gives
believe
life
that
to
you're Stanley.
your character. A
Yeah,
whole,
you understand. You're angry, your physicality, the way
yeah.
you hold yourself, and sometimes he'd ask you, okay, walk around like the character, walk around, and you're like, what's going on with your shoulders? I'm stressed, I'm angry. So grab your shoulders. And you grab your shoulders, and you're like, and then you would say, that's perfect. And then you would find bits in that interview that you would do within the scene. You're always grabbing your shoulder, and you're just like,
I
and
love the
so
way he did this. This is brilliant. Wow.
yeah, and so you would. I remember I was doing a Sam Shepard play, but I think it was Live the Mind, but I can't remember. But he was like, "What's going on, Doug?" And I said, "Oh, I feel like a fucking caged lion in here, man." He goes, well, then roar. Then I would roar. I would roar, and then do the scene. And then when I was doing the scene, I would just every once in a while, I would just like explode with anger. He's like,
Yeah,
"Okay,
that
now you,
guttural outburst.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah."
wow.
And then what kind of, how are you walking around? What kind of animal are you? Fucking
Wow.
orangutan, man. And your arms would drop. And then he'd be like, that's it. That's it. Do the scene. And
Do
then
it. Do it. I love this. I'm going to steal this next time I'm
yeah.
working on one of my features.
No, he was a genius.
Amazing.